The reason I decided to do my live now instead of at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is probably for obvious reasons. As we can see, XRP is breaking out of a short-term pennant flag consolidation. It lined up perfectly as we could have expected with Gary Gensler's resignation. He tendered his resignation. So we'll go over that news as well. His resignation's on January 20th. I will talk about this during this as well. Pump Master Flash, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And that is my face superimposed on there. Jordan, welcome in. I closed my 50x leverage at 100. Yeah, I closed. We had a copy trade. And speaking of that, I'm very happy to announce I won my appeal against the person who said that I was committing frauds and scams. So our community is 100% in the clear, and I am so proud that YouTube's seen it my way. I keep the warning, but in the future, it doesn't affect my channel, so I can at least still talk about what I talk about. But yeah, we had a phenomenal trade today as far as copy trading goes as well. And I closed that out as well. So, but it was, yeah. So, but we'll get into that too as we go. But as we can see, XRP is up 8.7% on the day. I thought it was best opportunity here to do the live now, just because of the positioning XRP's in. Julie, you can sit in our room too if you want. You don't always have to go outside. So I thought it was a good opportunity for us to touch base here for about an hour and, you know, see exactly where we're looking to go here for XRP. So hopefully we can do this in a professional way and we can get the most information possible out of this update so that we can get everything we need to know from not just a news perspective, but the charts as well. So I do appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this. And I'll do the intro, and then we'll get into this much, much deeper, and we'll look much deeper into the charts. Massey, welcome in. Mario Louise Willamese, good evening. I really appreciate seeing you in here. Jorge, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Oh, I would love to see new members of Tom's Army. With everything that's happened, with the price rise, I would love to see members of Tom's Army and members paying it forward. There's no better medicine that I can ever taste than my own community paying it forward. Now, I fully anticipate this pattern to continue playing out. I expect at some point, because we always do this, and it doesn't matter what the asset is. It's not because it's XRP, but we had a breakout. Now, I'm looking for a back test. If we come back and back test $1.14, I'm going right back in the leverage trade. Right back into a 5x trade. But I have to do my due diligence. When it came up, I'm aware that back test happened. And I know we still need to get to $1.36. So the fact we went from $1.09 up to $1.23. Now coming back down to $1.15 is not so bad on a back test scenario. And that's what I'm looking for. So if it happens, it happens. But we'll get into every detail we need to get into here during this live. And we'll make sure that this is very educational. So good early afternoon, 2:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 21st, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do welcome everybody in. Make sure to hit that like button if you are tuning in. Also leave a comment so I know you're here. If you are watching, if you don't want to, I completely understand. But you can definitely leave a comment so that I know you're out there in the audience. Hopefully we don't get shadow banned in the comments and it lets me actually see them through the whole live. But I suspect it's not letting me see every comment here, which is unfortunate. But I can always take my phone out to see if that's the case. But I can always... So, okay. So hopefully... Nope. It's working right now. So Brad Garlinghouse was so happy. Yes, he was. So we can start with that news. We can go to Twitter or X, and we can start with this news. We can start with the news. So let's go to Brad Garlinghouse. And we got a lot to talk about because now that XRP has broken out of this pennant flag, all we have to do is technically back test $1.15 if it wants to, but our technical target right now is at like $1.72. So here's what Brad Garlinghouse said. On January 20th, 2025, Gary Gensler said, but Brad Garlinghouse reposted. Gary Gensler. On January 20th, 2025, I will be stepping down as SEC governor. So the governor of the Securities and Exchange Commission, the chair. So Gary Gensler said, the SEC is a remarkable agency. The staff and the commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, facilitating capital formation, and ensuring that the markets work for investors and issuers alike. The staff comprises true public servants. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve with them on behalf of everyday Americans and ensure that our capital markets remain the best in the world. I thank the President of the United States for entrusting me with this incredible responsibility. The Securities and Exchange Commission has met our mission and enforced the law without fear or favor. And then it says, read the full announcement. So let's go into the full announcement. So here's what Gary Gensler had to say. So Gary Gensler to depart from the agency on January 20th. So Gensler implemented reforms to enhance efficiency, resiliency, and integrity in U.S. capital. And if for some reason the price goes down while I'm reading this, which I don't know if it's going to go down yet to retest the breakout, but if it does tend to move in that direction, let me know if it's like $1.17, $1.18 while I'm reading this, so that I can actually be in on it. So Gensler implemented reforms to enhance efficiency, resiliency, and integrity in U.S. capital markets agency, held wrongdoers accountable, and returned billions to harmed investors. Washington, D.C. on November 1st, 2024. Lonzo welcome in the Securities and Exchange Commission today announced that its 33rd chair, Gary Gensler, will step down from commission effective at 12 p.m. on January 20th, 2025. Chair Gensler began his tenure on April 17, 2021 in the immediate aftermath of the GameStop market events. He led the agency through a robust rulemaking agenda to enhance efficiency, resiliency, and integrity in the U.S. capital markets. He also oversaw high-impact enforcement cases to hold wrongdoers accountable and return billions to harmed investors. The Securities and Exchange Commission is a remarkable agency, said Chair Gary Gensler. The staff and the commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, facilitating capital formation, and ensuring that the markets work for investors and issuers alike. The staff comprises true public servants. It has been an honor of a lifetime to serve with them on behalf of everyday Americans and ensure that our capital markets remain the best in the world. So we already read through this. I greatly enjoyed working with my fellow commissioners, Allison Heron Lee, Eli Rosen, blah, 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 who cares? So the Treasury market. Slots and Scratch Card, thank you so much for the $4.99 donation. That is unbelievable. Yeah, they don't do a good job sending out my notifications, so thank you for saying that. I'm going to send out one myself. I'm going to share this live since you're saying that you didn't get one sent out, and I appreciate somebody you telling me that, because now I can actually do it myself. Not that it's going to go to everybody, but I'll do all channel members live. Let's see, let me know if any of you get that. Because I would just be curious if anybody's watching, if anybody actually gets that when I do that. So anyhow, the Treasury markets. During Gary Gensler, or Chair Gensler's tenure, the SEC adopted critical enforcements to the 28 trillion U.S. Treasury markets to lower costs and risk in Treasury markets. The agency adopted rules to promote central clearing and narrow circumstances in which broker-dealers are exempt from National Securities Association registration. These reforms will lower risk and enhance efficiency throughout the entirety of the U.S. capital market. Under Chair Gary Gensler, the SEC made the first significant updates to the 55 trillion U.S. equity market. In nearly 20 years, the agency unanimously made updates to the national market system so that stocks can be traded more efficiently with narrow spread and lower fees. Improvements also include shortening the settlement cycle to 1 day, which is good for investors and lowers risk in the market further. The agency unanimously adopted rules to update information regarding brokers, execution quality. These reforms benefit investors by making equity markets more efficient. The commission adopted amendments during Chair Gensler's tenure regarding Form PF, the confidential reporting form for certain. I don't even care about all that. Corporate governance disclosure. So I don't care about all of his stuff. So let's see about Gary Gensler. So Chair Gensler was formerly chair of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, leading the Obama administration reform of the 400 trillion swaps market. He also was senior advisor to U.S. Senator Paul Sarbanes in writing the Sarbanes-Oxley Act 2002 and was undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance and Assistant Secretary of Treasury from 97 to 2001. In recognition for his service, Chair Gensler was awarded that. Again, I don't care about all of that. Before joining the SEC, Gensler was blah, blah, blah. So the bottom line, well, there we go, close to home. What does this say? Nope. Okay, that's good. So Gary Gensler depart on January 20th, 2025, but he's already taken enough of my time. But I want to go back into, let's see. So Brad Garlinghouse, I wanted to watch what he had said yesterday. I didn't want to really do anything until I watched it. But here, we'll watch what he said. Then we'll get into it.
Trump rally continues. Trump Media and Technology Group also reportedly in advanced talks to acquire crypto exchange BACT. BACT says it does not comment on, quote, market rumors or speculation. The acquisition would mark Trump's latest move into the world.
And I think an unlawful flow, it's expensive, and we use a
crypto frame. Thanks so much for being here. Tell us how Paint Trail. Joining me now is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, great to see you.
Very good to see you.
Thanks so much for being here. Tell us how Ripple fits into this whole crypto framework that we're actually understanding better and better recently.
So from the earliest days, Ripple has been focused on solving the problem around cross-border payments. It's slow, it's expensive, and we use a digital asset called XRP.
Please make sure to hit that like button. Only 64 out of 179 of you hit the like button. If you hit that like button, we can push this content. But that's the last time I'm looking at that until 3 o'clock. So you got time to hit the like button.
To help speed that up, make it very inexpensive and very reliable. But the challenge, as you know well, is the U.S. has had this very hostile. The Biden administration has been waging a war on crypto. And I think an unlawful war. Courts have agreed with us on that. And we're finally seeing that kind of unlocked in a Trump embraced crypto and crypto embraced Trump. And I think we're seeing that reflect in kind of how the markets have reacted since the election.
So for Ripple, do you think that this also unlocks new revenue opportunities for you in the U.S.? Because I know.
Sorry, I got to pause this one time. Kryptonian, thank you for that new emote, or the new thumbnail that I use on my updates now. That is unbelievably generous. Like, hopefully that's okay. But like I have for my lives, somebody else created the XRP diamond hands for me, and as you know, it's a staple of my community. I have my thumbnail for my station's identity that somebody created me, and now you created me that, and I hope that can be my identity for my updates, because it was awesome. So thank you so much. Anti-communist, welcome in. Appreciate the kind words. Rudy, welcome in. Says, bread and XRP will be household words just like Bezos and Amazon. How high can XRP realistically go? We'll get into that right after this. I just want you to hear what Brad Garlinghouse said. But realistically, off of this pennant flag breakout, assuming if we backtest, we hold $1.15. Oh, thank you, Kryptonian. No, I'm the one who should be honored. I'm the one who's honored. That is such a beautiful thumbnail. But technically, $1.72 is our technical target out of this pennant flag if it goes true.
The customer base largely outside the U.S.
You're exactly right. You know, the United States SEC filed a lawsuit about what is XRP 4 years ago. And so it kind of froze the U.S. market opportunity for us. You know, if you're a U.S. bank or U.S. financial institution, you're like, let's just wait and see how this plays out. So 95% of our customers are outside the United States. And finally, I think we're at a point where we can actually see growth.
It's dipping now?
Crypto industry.
Okay, so we'll watch that in a sec, okay? We got to look at this. I asked you guys to tell me, so I told you guys to tell me when it got around $1.17. So we were in a leverage, copy, blah, blah, blah. This is what we're doing right now. The copiers are up over $3,200. We're up 303% or $518 is our P&L. We're crushing it. We're crushing it. Today we had like a 68%er. Another, it just, everything we flipped from XLM, the 60-something percent move into XRP, we made the exact move except we had twice as much money in it. So everybody who's watching that, thank you. Everybody who's part of that, I appreciate it, but that's all I'm going to talk about it. If you want to copy trade, video description below. or you got to go to my homepage and you can follow like the, okay, I knew questions were going to come. So real quick, this is all you got to do. Go to my homepage, click here, see where it says BITUNIX, click on the BITUNIX crypto exchange, sign up through the link, put your money in the futures, and then go to the copy trade and type in XRP and it'll come up XRP Future Millionaire. And then once you sign up for it like that, it'll ask you how much you want to switch into the trading. Just $170 is all you need. That's all I do mine based on. I actually have a little more than that in my account right now, only because we had a positive trade, but I'm actually, while we're talking, I'm going to take that out of there. But that's how you do it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, though. But I always update in a very strategic way when I'm talking about things. So that's what I got for that. So it was nice, though, because it was just nice. It was nice. So I'm very happy about that. And everybody who's following it instills that trust. Like, for my followers to be up $3,200 copy trading me is insane. It's insane. I love it, though. Makes me feel good. Has been dead accurate since last week. Oh, yeah. 100%. Dude, I base all of my stuff on the technicals. So we knew news was coming. But look, what did I say when I started this at $1.20? I would be looking to get back in this at $1.14, and then I could do a stop loss under here, and and I'm only going to do like a $100 copy trade position. I don't think I'm going to do the full 170, because that's going to be about a 30%. That's about a $30 risk. That's not too bad, actually. Because I'm looking for the back test re-entry. I just didn't want to give it all back. I was planning on holding this either way, but this looks like the back test of the breakout that we're looking for. Volume surging in. This is where you can get rid of all of the liquidity. Now, somebody said we had stolen liquidity, which is true, but we can gain it back by it dropping down like it is. All we needed to do is come back down and back test this area, and then you have no gaps. Right now, we have the gap at $1.15.7. So we need to come back down here so we can do this in a pure motion. So that's why I said at the start, if I was getting back in leverage, I'd be looking at about $1.15. Looking at about $1.15. I think it's very clear that it's in a pennant flag, and the target out of the pennant flag technically is $1.73. Now, we do have other targets to take care of before we can just finish the pennant flag. And for anybody who's new, this will be very educational very quickly right here, real quick. So you got to know the charts that I deal with if you're going to be part of my audience. And they've been dead accurate. We've been so far ahead of this. There's a reason why I can be up 300% copy trading, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not because I'm a wizard. It's because I understand the setup and more. And you see my copy trading. The interesting thing is I'm like, what, 23 wins and 30-something losses, or 25 wins and 32 losses. And yeah, we're up over 300%. It's not about the wins and losses, because I'm going to oftentimes be in and out for $10, $15 losses. But as you can see, you try to capitalize on the big move because you want to be in it before, because then you can... You're in control. You're just in control. So if you're new, this is the cup. The target on the cup, you follow the color. So it's a cup and handle. So the handle is in the white. The handle target is white at $1.1821. We've knocked over it twice now. Haven't been able to hold it. The technical target out of the cup area, you measure the depth at the breakout point. The technical target is at about $1.37. That's our technical target out of the cup and handle. That has not been fulfilled yet at all. And what did it do? It created this very bullish pennant flag consolidation. So I didn't think this was going down earlier. And in fact, I put my money where my mouth is and it paid off. But now we're looking at the back test. If this does it properly, this is the money spot. This is the money spot right now. If we can hold this, because it would turn into an inverted hammer likely. But we do need to back test this. Like, I'm not surprised that it dropped down very quick. Now, is it going to come all the way back down, or is $1.18 actually all we have to back test? Because it is possible that is he okay? Oh. Is $1.18 going to be where it stops? I don't know, because generally when you have these long consolidations, you'll back test the pattern breakout. And right now we broke out of a pretty lengthy, not like terribly lengthy, but we broke out of this pennant flag. So to me, just if past history of what I do in technicals, I would say it could hold $1.18. See, that's where it's tough because we have that cup and handle area, but it would seem to me that they would have to take out the 114 or 115 again. I could be wrong though, but I did sell my 5X at $1.20, $1.21 area. So, and I had it from $1.09. So that's, it did exactly what I wanted for the first leg. Now we need the back test. And the other thing is, guys, now we have more evidence. So maybe we didn't even break out yet. Maybe this is a wider consolidation because this is why we need evidence. Because look at this now. Now maybe it's like this. Maybe it was a wider pattern. And just hear me out, okay? Because some people are going to get pissed. Maybe, just maybe, we haven't even broke out yet and we just needed the evidence, right? Short-term breakout to long-term potential. See how this is starting to shake out? Does that make sense to everybody what just happened? That is still the same pennant flag consolidation, but I think we're in a longer consolidation, and it could bring us back possibly to $1.11. So we have to pay attention here. That's why we have to pay attention, and that's why it's always good to be in a move before it happens, because this very well, Ethereum, when it did this initially, the other day it came right back down. Came right back down, and then it broke out. So that's what I'm looking at. Last two chairmen resigned by Thanksgiving of new president. Yep. Well, you didn't expect Gensler to do anything different. At least I didn't. But do you guys see what I'm saying about this? You see how it opened up the pattern? And it looks like it's a wider pattern. I think it's a wider pattern. And it'll give us a more appropriate target. But I'm telling you, does everybody see what I just did here? And why it's so important? We did break out of the short term. But now if you look at this, it built another layer here. So this is why I like doing what I'm doing. Following in and sold at 20. Syrian, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months plus. Along with Daniel with the XRP Meteors. And thank you for being a very trusted mod. So, you know, that's the only reason that I got out of that leverage trade. Because you never know. Now is it building something bigger? We will only know if it already did. It's got resistance. Now it can consolidate more. No, this isn't my spot that I'm selling. I didn't sell my spot. This is a 5X leverage trade. I'm not selling my spot trade. We're not even close to that. If it goes down, buying more. We'll see. It's either going to hold $1.15 or it's going to stay. No, the pennant flag target is the pennant flag target. It'll make the short-term target a little bit bigger. But if it does this route, it would probably break out. It'll be the same target. But yeah, the target is the target. $1.73 from the pennant flag breakout is the target. If it holds, it's just to get the confirmation, we need to get over the top of this resistance that's formed the two layers. So basically what it's saying is you're teasing the breakout of the pennant flag, the short term, but then if you look at the length of it, technically this would be the confirmation if we get over that second tier. Okay, I just asked that measurement higher. Yeah, no, it is. The short term potential is a little bit higher. It's $1.49. But as far as the pennant flag, the measurement's still the same because you measure the flagpole and not actually the consolidation. But yeah, with the wick, it can actually be higher. I didn't do it 100%. I like to leave a little bit of room at the top. So, but that's definitely a lot of volume. And now we need to see how far this is willing to come. Is it going to stop here at $1.15 or 14, I should say, or do we consolidate back through and use it as a wider bounce? With XRP, it doesn't surprise me to get these quick FOMO kicks, and then they take the liquidity right back. It really does not surprise me. That's why I was not willing to just sit on it. The person reading this is awesome. Thank you for the $5 donation. Hey, Legend, have you ever had to do KYC on Margex? On my third withdrawal, they froze all my withdrawals for the KYC. I don't know what Margex is. I'm sorry. Is that an exchange? The only ones I use are the ones I talk about. BITUNIX, HOTCOIN, and Crypto.com. I also have used BLOFIN, but I don't have anything actively on there. I feel like the fees are a little too high for my liking. So I wish I could help you, but I've honestly never experienced that that exchange. I thought you spoke about Marge Expert. No, I'm sorry, I have not. I've heard people talk about it, but I honestly have never even seen the exchange. I didn't even know it was an exchange. Oh, no, Brian, I'm glad you asked. I appreciate the $5 donation. And since I was reading it, you think I'm awesome. So, I do appreciate that. I'm sorry I couldn't help you, though. If anybody's reading, maybe they could help you. Mark, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. I really appreciate it. Tommy? What are you doing? Hold on, everybody. I gotta check my son. Tommy? He got in the water in the kitchen. His arm. My son being a little boy. Yeah, you're proud of yourself, but now your shirt's all wet, buddy. But remember when we started this live? I don't know how many people were here in the beginning. I said at $1.21, it's got to come back down and back test this. It's not very often that it doesn't. But that's what it looks like it's doing. I mean, the back test is in play right now. There's another platform you can copy trend. Oh, okay. Gotcha. No, Tommy. Tommy. You're being mischievous right now.
Stinker.
You got it.
Come here, let's get new clothes.
Glad he isn't slowing down. Give Pop some. Yeah, I know. He's. What happens when Bitcoin hits 100? A lot of people think when Bitcoin hits 100,000 that it's just going to end up collapsing. I'm kind of not in that camp right now. Because Bitcoin's technical target out of that cup and handle, and yeah, we've hit the 97,000 now we talked about, and the 100,000 is well within play. These were our targets up out of this formation. A lot of people thought that was bearish, and I couldn't believe it. Just because of the way it came up. It was an ascending formation. Yes, I understand we could say it's a rising trend, but to me it was more it was a bullish consolidation. And the targets are the targets. 122,000 is the target out of the cup and handle. So until that cup target is fulfilled, I mean, I don't think 100,000 would just beat it away. But who knows? Maybe you go 100,000, drop back down to 90 or 83 and scare some people, then jump up. But I think you'd be more likely to have the whole market fall upside down after you hit 122,000. John Sampson, thank you so much for the $5 donation. He says XLM to $3.33. And I feel very hopeful for XLM. I have... Well, I don't even know how I'm 12,000. I think 12,222 XLM. But XLM, we're getting evidence too. It fell outside initially of this little ascending consolidation. And XLM, that to me is more of a rising triangle. That, you could say, that could be more of a bearish consolidation. So instead of coming up to 29, now that it showed us this bearish consolidation it fell outside of, if it doesn't hold, because now it looks like an inverted hammer could be forming. But now you would simply say we need to consolidate down, and maybe it comes to 19.1. Who knows? But that could be, this is more of a bearish consolidation, it looks like. But who knows? We had an epic rise up here out of XLM, and I would love to just see it continue up to that 29-cent mark. But we fulfilled most of the targets. XRP was just lagging behind. We'll see how far Bitcoin consolidates, because Bitcoin, before it makes this next move, my fear is that, if it loses 97,369, that it could, because look, has it back tested the breakout? In my opinion, no. So, I could see it coming back down here and back testing this, but that can only happen if it loses that 97,300. But XRP, that was a double top in the local area, what we just did. So just understand what I'm saying here. We double topped the local area. See right here? And that's why we widened the pattern. And you got to do it in real time. That's why you got to watch this every day. See, this is what it expanded to. The breakout potential that we won on because it had to break out. But unfortunately, it didn't break the double top at $1.25. So we could say we double topped here now at $1.24 area. And now we need to come all the way back down, as I stated in the start, and hit this uptrending support either at $1.14, the break out of the short term, or back to the uptrending support at $1.11. I think if you're going to sell out, you would have to wait until the technical target of the 7-year consolidation almost from 2018. And that target right now is $2.22. And it's crazy that that's the target, but from where it broke out, that's actually the target. And like, so I would say if you're going to try to have some weird sell-off, maybe 222, and then if it has a small pullback, it'd be to $1.98. But this doesn't look done. This looks like it's just back testing the breakout. Like, I don't know, though, because that could have pulled in a double. See, that's the problem with what it did. Because the fact we haven't back tested 91 cents in a couple other areas, this is where it gets dangerous. There was a great opportunity there short term for leverage, and now it's like the spots, you sit back and you kind of wait for it to strike. VELO right now is up 8.5%. And then we'll get into XLM. That's another one we've talked a lot about. I have 100,000 tokens of VELO, and it's making its move up. It's trying to break to 1.7 cents, and it's on a bullish consolidation. Those descending channels like that, those are bullish typically. And it's got to finish this little cup it's forming. So first area, that's there, and then it could come up to like about 1.7 and some change. So we've got that. My son is just being, he's getting into things he shouldn't be, and he knows it. So he's giving mom a hard time right now. With XLM, it's down 1.1%. And like we said, there's two options here. One, it could break down on that inverted hammer, because it was on more of an ascending formation, and it stayed within it until just today. And now technically on a breakdown, the target would be around 19.1. So I wouldn't be surprised if XRP came to $1.11, honestly. Because how big of a move is this? Ooh. I don't know if it'll come that... 20%'s a big drop from here. I don't know if it's going to come all the way down there. That's a big drop from there, honestly. I would hope it doesn't. That looks like an inverted hammer. I would hope that this just... short term's kind of interesting. I don't know. That kind of looks interesting there, that pattern setup. I mean, I think Flair's Flair, man. They give a whole bunch of free tokens. You can't expect much appreciation. You got to buy at certain points. Someone who will buy it when it's under a penny and sell it at like 3-4 cents on routine. But as far as like me long holding it, I'd rather hold something like XRP Healthcare in its place. So I put my money in, into something like that. They've only got, 50 million tokens, 40, 56, 60, I don't remember exactly. But XRP Healthcare now, it's come up to our local resistance, so that's at 3.8 cents. And that's where we're at right now. That's the pattern formation. We're hitting it perfectly right now. And if we break out of this, it's a wide margin. You go up to like 6 cents, but then the ultimate target's back up to 11.1. He's 11.1, and this could get you up to 4.4 cent area. 4.4. I'll be right back. Come on, King. Away from the door. I know, but we're not going outside. I know. I'm sorry. I guess I'm gonna go outside.
What's the matter, Tommy?
Sorry, everybody, but if I keep talking in the house, my son is just gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse. So he's getting to that point that I need to come outside so that I don't interrupt him any further. I apologize. So we'll just we'll do our best out here, but I didn't want to keep feeding into the fire, so to say. And oh no, no, it's fine. It's I don't need to go offline. My son he has like sensory from you guys know the story. So if I would have stayed inside, I don't need to log off. If I would have stayed inside, it would have just kept feeding into it because he's starting to not appreciate the noise right now. So I had to step outside, even though it's kind of cold outside. But I wasn't ready to end this. We've only been together 35 minutes, and I want to do my due diligence because obviously we won't see each other later. You can hear my son, so it's going to be very hard to come back on. But with XRP Healthcare, this breakout right now, and it's back testing as well. You see how it came up to the actual technical move here of the pattern, and now it's back testing the breakout, and then it not back testing yet, but it came down to see how it's going back and forth. It's really deciding because it was up 10, now it's up 15, but it's fighting this area. So XRP Healthcare has done a fantastic job through here. That's also looks like the same kind of bullish consolidation XRP's in, but you need to back test the breakout, and that's exactly what all these formations are trying to do as we speak. XRP Healthcare, it's tough to buy in the US. When I was buying it on MEXC because they allowed USA users. Now they don't allow it anymore. So I've just held what I have on the XRP Healthcare app. You can go the VPN route, but I haven't done that. So, and I haven't even put out a way to do that kind of stuff. But, you know, so right now it's kind of, I don't know. You can try L Bank, but obviously, you know, you can't really verify there because their USA position's weird. So, but yeah, so honestly, I don't know where. I don't know if anybody can tell me in the USA, because everywhere I've looked, they don't longer allow USA users anymore. Every avenue we once had, so it's one of those things. Eventually they'll allow it, but by the time they allow it on these exchanges, or they put it back on these exchanges or on them for the first time, it's going to be way higher the price. Does your son have autism? My youngest boy, Tom, has autism. He depends on me. Yeah. He's definitely, I would say, he didn't test, well, I mean, he's like definitely on the spectrum, but he had a bad car accident when he was 6 months old. So he's for sure he was developmentally delayed. He broke his femur and he had very bad trauma and psychological issues. He hit his head and stuff like that. So, you know, like I look at it, like his brain's got scrambled a little bit and stuff. But also he does have the, you know, more like the stemming and that kind of stuff. So yeah, from the autistic side, I would say, yeah, he's on the autism side. And, but when he gets like that, it ends up, you know, and he gets into a moment, and then the noise and everything gets to him, and I could see because he was trying to get me to shut off my computer. That's why I ended up taking it off and walking outside because I didn't want to feed into it. But yeah, XRP Healthcare might come back to MEXC in the USA. With Trump, you never know. But MEXC turned their back on us, so I can't trust them ever again. Once an exchange turns their back on us in the USA, who's to say they won't do it again? They had no reason to do it. There's no actual bylaw that says they can't operate and sell these things to us. Like all the exchanges that said they couldn't do XRP because of legal battles, they were full of garbage. Hot garbage. They didn't even look at the law. If they would have never delisted. That's why Uphold and BITUNIX and a few others didn't. But anyhow, back to XRP. XRP, we're looking, see if this back test plays out. I mean, that's pretty close. Unfortunately, that was going on inside, so we couldn't look at this in real time. But now we are, now that we're back in business. So if I'm looking at this, we got resistance. Broke out here. I mean, if it wants to have a back test here, it would be somewhere around that area, but that's the second, I'd rather look at the other chart like this because it gives us a more appropriate way to look at this, because if it does come all the way back down, we are in a wider formation with that second resistance. Like, even if we don't want to acknowledge that as being what happened, that's what happened. That's what happened, unfortunately. We created that second resistance. If we didn't want to do that, we needed to stay on top of that area and then continue bouncing to $1.37. Now we're testing right at the $1.18 area. Right at the $1.18 area, which is not a bad retest. In fact, who knows, maybe this is where it swings back around. Maybe it doesn't come all the way back and test it exactly. Now that it is a wider setup, you know, it is a wider setup now after that push up. So I'm interested to see how this part of the process plays out. Because if we can get out of here and we can get on top of that, what is that, $1.25 approximately, we're in business. We're already in business, but we could be in some serious business here. So right now we need to get on top of this area at $1.24 approximately. $1.24 approximately. So that's where we need to get on top of and hold. Looks like we could be flagging here a little bit. Hopefully that plays out like that. It's a very small time sample in the 30-minute, but or in the hourly, it definitely looks like, although it could pull right down, I still think it's going to retest that possibly real quick. Hopefully it just gets over $1.18 and we hold, and then we can start flying again. Oh, it's so much fun when XRP's cranking it like it was earlier. I love it. Yeah, I love it. There's no funner time. And like XLM, we talked about it. If it does fall out here, you could technically come down if we think that that actually broke down out of that initial consolidation, like in an ascending fashion. But it's also created, man, that is so tough because it technically came outside of that, but you could still see separate style that it's forming here. A little bit of a channel maybe, a little bit of a widening or broadening. That's so tough. But anyhow, we'll see how this plays out. If it gets back within there and gets back up 25.9 cents, nothing to worry about. If it gets rejected and it can't get back up there, well, then we might have to come down to 19.1. Let's see. But I mean, with what I'm seeing, looks like we're in a consolidatory mode across the market. Some of it's trying to break out. Hi, Michaela. How are you? Good. Zill's up 5%. We definitely have Zill in our spot bag, and it's been consolidating for a few days now. It looks like it's going to break out of a nice consolidatory bull. Well, let's see. Let's see exactly. But it's been consolidating for several days now. We have this descending consolidation. We had something like this on the downtrending resistance. Actually, it was... yeah, I suppose you could use that. Let's see, I want to look at this from two angles. So uptrend, uptrend. And now if you come from here, resistance, resistance, something like that. You'd have to break out of something like that. I think when I look at this and actually examine it, I think that would be the most confident I would be. Hey, if it breaks out of that formation, okay. It's a nice consolidation, little uptrending support, a little bit of a downtrending resistance. It's a pretty weird consolidation. But nothing unusual. So if it breaks out of this area, you'd be looking at a short target at like 2.4 cents on Zill. For you know, transparency, I have just over 100,000, I think 101,222 Zill. So I like Zill. Looks like it's got a wider cup that it's filling. And looks like it should be somewhere up here towards the area of our resistance right now. So that looks pretty positive to me. DGB had a big move yesterday. It's consolidating today, but it had a big move yesterday, all the way up to 1.3. Now it's consolidated some. We've got this cup built. Now we're building out the handle. It took a long time for Zill to do this. It's been behind a lot of crypto, big time. So it's taken a long time to do this. It's filled this back out though. And now if it's rounding the bottom, you know, you're talking about coming back up here in the short order, back up to about 1.75, and then ultimately up to that 2.5 cents. Not a lot of comments on GZIL. I'd have to do a lot more research. I'm kind of staying with the front runner here with ZIL because it's so undervalued. Prefer XRP going up slowly and consolidating. Yeah, oh, absolutely, John. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP 5 or with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. I absolutely want XRP to do exactly what it did, up to $1.24. Let's consolidate and retest that breakout point at $1.14, $1.15. Break back up to $1.22, back test $1.18. Break back up to $1.30, back test that $1.25 double top area. Go back up to $1.34, back test that original $1.27 or $1.28. You know, and that's what I like to do. And then you get over the $1.37, back test that, then we know the $1.52 and $1.56, $1.72, $2.22. And then ultimately it's up at like $5.60 something cents. That's what we're trying to get to. Everybody thought it was impossible when we were back at 32, but it doesn't seem so bad now. And if you bought it at 34 cents, you know, that's the thing. Like today, XRP was up 7.5 cents or 6.7%, right? But if you bought it at 35 cents, 7.5 cents on a 35 cent average buy-in, you see where I'm going here? That's a 20% move in comparison to what you bought it at. It's a 6.9% move if you bought it at $1.11 or $1.105. But if you bought it at 35 cents, you're looking at 20% move compared to what you hold, you know? So it starts to fundamentally, it compounds. The higher the price gets, the lower you bought in, the more it compounds. That's why the higher it gets from here, we're going to see days where XRP's up 30% and it's moved 37, 40 cents. And we're going to say, holy shit, that's a 100% move for us at 35. There's another 1x of our portfolio, you know, of our initial investment. And this is where it gets scary good. Scary good. I tried to express my deepest, you know, observation here that we're not done with this bull market. Like, we're just starting alt season. Guys, until the money starts pouring out of Bitcoin and going into Ethereum, which you're seeing a little bit of a divergence here today at 2-to-1, and you see how the money's coming out from 62% to 60.8. The only way to get alt season is to start having that kind of stuff happen. We're not even in a true alt season yet. That's the scary part. Like, if this isn't a true alt season, how high can we go? ZIL is the governance token of ZIL was at 600. Last bull run is at $5. Well, I'm gonna have to take a serious look at that for sure. Mandy, thank you so much for making me the happiest person in the world today. A new member of Tom's Army. Thank you so much, love. And I know it's your first month because that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, and that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. I kid you not. Kid you not. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. About 100 of you have not hit that like button. So if you wanted me to do me the honor and try to help me push this content, please make sure to hit that like button. Please, please, please. Commodities, I have a strange feeling, are about to erupt. I have Fortuna Silver Mines. I bought back at $6.31. I only bought it back because I liked the formation it set up on. It didn't really do much today. It was down. I bought Fortuna Silver Mines back, as you know. It was like $4 and I don't know. I'll have to look. And then I bought B2 Gold back at $268 and $272. So I have a strong feeling that everybody's paying attention to crypto, and commodities are about to get a nice little boom here shortly. And they've given up some great deals. I sold B2 Gold at $332 and bought it back at $268 and $272 just weeks, not even 2 weeks later. Yep, Bitcoin is about 1.5% away from 100K, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's taken out, I believe, 99K earlier. So, and this is what I was trying to explain yesterday. Like, we were not bearish. And I said, like, the guru, love the guru, but I was saddened to see for the second time on this run up, he sold out at 92K saying this was a rising wedge. It wasn't. It's a bullish consolidation. There's two differences here. That's an ascending. This is more, to say that's a rising wedge, I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it. Because even if you looked at it from the lower part of the potential, just from what I'm seeing, that still, you could still say was more of like a weird ascending breakout or whatever, but I don't know. You didn't even have to go from there. We talked about it like this the whole time. You didn't even have to go from the top. This is how I was talking about it until the breakout. Something like this. And like, to me, it didn't seem like a bearish consolidation at all. There's just too much pressure, and you never, ever, ever, ever give up on a pattern before it's over, especially from a spot position. So I started with 3K on Monday and now I have 95. 3K to 95K or 3K to 95? No, blockchain backer was right all along. I'm not going to get into who was right and who was wrong. But no, absolutely not. Rocked people in 21, 22, and 23 so bad and miserably. They didn't survive until the real bull market. That was my biggest issue with most of the YouTubers. They pushed a price that was definitely unrealistic, and now everybody, it doesn't matter if your community lost 99% of their money if it finally pushes up after. No, you got to stay within the moment. We can all say the target's going to go here or there, and eventually, if it's meant to do it, it will. But what happens in the in-between? Like, that's what I'm saying. You know, I would rather have my audience have all their money intact. I called the top of the bull market in 21, sold it properly, bought back the bottom of a bear market in 23 and 24, and played it perfectly. My audience didn't lose anything if they listened. They actually gained an enormous amount of wealth. And I didn't lie because I wanted to... Anyhow, that's not why I'm here, though. You know, that's my own 2 cents about it. So yeah, it is what it is. So anyhow, Craig, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. That is incredibly generous. You're the second person, along with Mandy, that joined Tom's Army here. You two have made me the happiest person in the world today. Like, seriously. To see some of you join Tom's Army and support my craft, it's unbelievable. I only wish that all that stuff didn't happen when we were consolidating and we could have looked at this realistically, whether we should have bought it again on that leverage trade. Because I had such a perfect sell up here. And then I wanted to see, I really do want to see it back test. So I hope it back test. We did get some of the distance back. Me too, Lane. BitBoy Crypto. Yep. That's, he really served me right with the Ben token and all that good stuff. You know, it made me million, yeah. Love it. But this looks like a nice bull flag consolidation. This looks like a nice consolidation here again. Like, if it breaks out of here right now, we might not need to consolidate anymore. When we were talking earlier, we talked about how we have the cup and handle target, the handle at $1.18. So we really could just break out of the $1.18 zone and it would be perfectly fine with me. The faster, the better. It makes the community very happy when this happens. So it would be based on this. So we back tested the $1.18. We came down a little bit more overzealous, but look at that. That's the play right off the $1.18 handle. So the handle up to $1.37 could be. And I wish, like I said, we were able to pay attention and we didn't have that moment with my son, but it happens. I watched live Bitcoin at 97,369. Perfectly cleared, cheered out loud. I couldn't hold back anymore. Tom's the best in the biz. Thank you, Craig. Thank you. Oh, so that's what got you to join. Our target of, first target, member, was 97,369. And then it consolidated through it. And then our next target's 100,714. And I circled it before because and then the ultimate target's 122. Like, that's just where it's at, you know, and I'm just trying to speak it for what it is. And if the technicals don't play out, they don't play out. And I actually did this from the break point. You could make it higher. And that's all I was trying to say before. We could actually have made this higher, but I did it from the break. How's it going?
Just went back to his room with the remote.
Was he still...
He comes.
Was he better once I stopped talking? Because he tried to get me to shut off my live. That's why I was like, I got 2 people to join and somebody just sent a $50 donation, Julie. I just seen. Mike Stevenson. Thank you so much for the $50 donation. That is incredibly generous. Wow. It's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. My highest exit target on XRP. I could see a significant, and I'm not saying all of it. I'm saying I could see at that $10 mark something being done. But I think we're still going to have chances. You know, like I still leverage trade 5x smaller amounts of money. You know, and it's pretty successful. I do pretty good. So I'm not worried about my spot position being the end all. My end game is not to sell out of it at anywhere. I'm looking to use it as a regular currency. And by that time, it'd be worth so much that using it as a general consensus as a currency is going to be interesting. Devin, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge, and also being a very trusted mod. I'm very much trusted mod. And yeah, thank you, Mike, for the pay it forward with that $50. That's unbelievably generous. So yeah, I'm glad also that we got a new subscriber out of the fact that I think it was Craig. Craig couldn't wait anymore. Once Bitcoin actually hit our target at 97,369, that next leg, he said, you know what? I got to join Tom's Army. And I appreciate that, Craig, because I know you've been around and I love it. So I want to do something real quick. We know that measurement at 100,000. But where does this one get us if we did something like this? I'm just curious. Is that the in-between? Yeah, that would absolutely just be right where we're at. See that? See that? That filled out the target here from the consolidation now. That's at 98,714. So we're in between those two consolidatory targets right now. Oh, this is very interesting indeed how this is going to play out in the short term. So far, a nice bullish consolidation on Bitcoin. Very nice bullish consolidation. Mike says Tom is worth every penny. I appreciate that, Mike. I really do. I really, really do appreciate that. Champ says my earnings on XRP have all come from range trading. Yep, I'd same. Besides, well, I mean, I can't say all of it, but technically what I have at 34 cents, that's just on paper. I don't own that money. Until I sell it, that's up and down. That's just an investment. But yeah, that's why I always say what I've made during this run is nothing that I hold in spot. That's all my trading. But right now, XRP for us, and this isn't a joke, and we're only at $1.18, and we're up 242% on our XRP right now. If you bought it where I did, when I advised everybody to buy it. Some of you weren't part of the channel though, but it's up 242% from where my buy-in is. And we're just getting started. That's the thing. Like imagine if it actually plays out to not just the $2.22 target, and that's the target right now off of the very long consolidation, but the actual off of that almost 7-year consolidation that started in January of 2018, the technical target is all the way up near $5.60 if it plays out. You know, you're talking about a 1,500% move if you bought at 34 cents. In totality, if it plays out. Craig, you've been with me on copy trading in YouTube since August. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. So many Craigs in here, I can't keep you all straight. Could the documentary get retail and XRP? Documentary of what? The XRP documentary? No, that was a tragedy. Whoever, I know who put that out. That was a disgrace, to be honest with you. That was a real disgrace. The people that they used were the biggest fudsters in the freaking XRP community. So no, I didn't appreciate that at all, the XRP documentary. If you were going to make one, how could you have it without XRP Future Millionaire? So ask yourself that. If they're going to go through influencer on YouTube, don't take the fudsters. They should have went with somebody with, you know, a real love for XRP, not somebody trying to capitalize off the community. And that's all they did, and I think it worked backwards. I worked with Gary at AOL. Hope this goes well. Holding for 8 years. Oh, wow. Interesting connection there. It's interesting. We have everybody everywhere in this community. I don't know. If you're speaking of the same documentary as me, I think it would turn people away from XRP because once you start doing the research, you know. I was in, oh, you were in the design. Nice. Wow, going all the way back to the AOL years. That's craziness. That's from my childhood. All that stuff got released when I was a kid. I was like the one who had it. Closed my trade at $1.21 and rebought at $1.17.5 because of your analysis of the cup and handle things. Oh, you're welcome, champ. You're welcome. Now just be cautious, obviously, but I don't think that's a bad play. That $1.18, I wish I was actually paying attention. And it's not that I can't do it now, but I wish I was paying attention and I would have actually, and it's not that I wasn't paying attention, but my son was having a moment. Because now I've got it in my head that it should come to $1.13. $1.13.8, $1.14. I just can't get it out of my head. This is a nice spot though, that it, because $1.15 would have been perfect right there. 115.9, I think is close enough. But still, this looks like if it's bouncing off the $1.18, we should be ready again. Because look how it's bouncing off of this handle. That handle target was $1.18. Look how it's using it as support. So, and look how the volume on the way down, it was crashing volume on the price dropping. However, I still know that, it's so tough. I know that we retest those spots all the time. That's why I can't do it until it comes down there. I already made a great trade, and I'm already happy with it, and I already have spots, so it's got to entice me now. See? Now they got to entice me to do it again. So, but yeah, that's where we stand, folks. That's where we stand. I hope you got something out of this live, and we still have one more thing to watch, which, you know, if I'm being real, do you guys want me to relax with you? Should we relax before I leave?
Bitcoin has been on.
We'll go back to that. I'm going to start that from the beginning for anybody who wasn't here in the beginning. This is what Brad Garlinghouse had to say.
This morning at 93,761, the crypto back says it does not comment on.
So we're going to watch this together, and we're going to relax together. So I'm going to start this from the beginning. If you bought at $3 back then, we will eventually hit that. It's already built into the charts. We should go up to $5.60 range. If at all, even if that's the grand target, that's the breakout target from this very long consolidation. So you'll be back in the money. It might take a little bit longer, but at some point you're going to be back in the money. So just know that it's within there.
Welcome back. Bitcoin has been on fire. Take a look at Bitcoin this morning at 93,761. The cryptocurrency touching a new all-time high of about $94,000 yesterday. As the Trump rally continues, Trump Media and Technology Group also reportedly in advanced talks to acquire crypto exchange BACT. BACT says it does not comment on, quote, market rumors or speculation. The acquisition would mark Trump's latest move into the world of crypto after promising to explore crypto-friendly policies on the campaign trail. Joining me now is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, great to see you.
Very good to see you.
Thanks so much for being here. Tell us how Ripple fits into this whole crypto framework that we're actually understanding better and better recently.
So from the earliest days, Ripple has been focused on solving the problem around cross-border payments. It's slow, it's expensive, and we use a digital asset called XRP to help speed that up, make it very inexpensive and very reliable. But the challenge, as you know well, is the U.S. has had this very hostile. The Biden administration has been waging a war on crypto, and I think an unlawful war. Courts have agreed with us on that. And we're finally seeing that kind of unlocked in a Trump embraced crypto, and crypto embraced Trump. And I think we're seeing that reflect in kind of how the markets have reacted since the election.
So for Ripple, do you think that this also unlocks new revenue opportunities for you in the U.S.? Because I know the customer base largely outside the U.S.
You're exactly right. You know, the United States SEC filed a lawsuit about what is XRP 4 years ago. And so it kind of froze the U.S. market opportunity.
Thank God it's not the same documentary. That's why I was hoping that you weren't talking about the same one. Now that is a different story. The one you speak of could bring people to the actual trade XRP. That documentary is actually on par with what actually happened.
For us, you know, if you're a U.S. bank or U.S. financial institution, you're like, let's just wait and see how this plays out. So 95% of our customers are outside the United States. And finally, I think we're at a point where we can actually see growth and see the crypto industry thrive here in the United States. The largest economy in the world has really been leaning out of the crypto economy.
And giving it up to China.
There's no question.
Hi,
it's
Scar.
growing in the UK. It's growing
I'm
in
just
Japan,
finishing my
it's
live,
growing in
okay?
Switzerland. I mean, these are big
You
economies
okay?
that are leaning.
Okay.
You know, the U.S. really has been the outlier in many ways.
Yeah, it's a great point. So talk to us about your outlook for crypto under the Trump administration and this deregulation that Trump is underway, thinking about and talking about. Look, he's been putting together a cabinet. We still don't have his idea on a Securities and Exchange Commission head, CFTC head. All of these agencies want a piece of you, want a piece of the crypto industry. They all want to have some kind of a regulatory, role here. Do you think you get more clarity under the Trump administration on who's running things?
Yes. We want them to have a role. And as you know well, one of the biggest problems the crypto industry has had isn't the idea there's too much regulation. It's just the regulation's not even clear. We're trying to apply laws from literally 1946, a famous Supreme Court case called the Howey test. So we're trying to apply that to a digital asset industry that's been developed in the last 10, 15, 20 years. And so it just doesn't fit. And I think as we bring this new you can have really the Trump cabinet to bear, getting those clear rules, which we've been asking for under the Biden administration for years. I think we're finally going to get that clarity, which will help the U.S. lead again. And I think, Trump talks about making America great again. I think he's going to make crypto great again in the United States.
No, he certainly talks about it a lot and wants more in terms of the U.S. role in that. Trump reportedly meeting privately with the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, on Monday to discuss key appointments for the second Trump administration.
If they make him in charge, if Brian Armstrong becomes in charge and, takes Gensler's job, I mean, we're going digital. I told you. It's not, if crypto goes up and we become enormously wealthy, it comes at a cost. We are fine because we were in crypto, and for the ones in precious metals, we're just going to crush it, and we already are. And now both are working together. But if you're not in any of these sectors, you're screwed. You are so screwed, it's not even funny. You got to be in front of digital. Then they're going to have so much that's coming forward, it's sick.
So Fox Business's Edward Lawrence spoke to Coinbase chief policy officer about that meeting. Watch this.
We're gratified by the degree that the Trump team has had an open door with us and given us an opportunity to talk about our vision about crypto and to see them ultimately adopt much of that. We're very excited to do our part to fulfill the president's vision of making the U.S. a crypto and digital asset leader of the world. There's a lot of work to be done. There was a lot of damage done over the last 4 years that all of us in the industry and working with our policymakers can kind of get going on to restore the U.S.'s position as a global leader.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it would speak volumes if Trump put in a crypto expert in the SEC. That would be unbelievable. Or CFTC. Where does Coinbase fit into all of this?
I mean, Coinbase has been a really important voice in this. I think, three key players came together during this election cycle. Coinbase, Ripple, and Andreessen Horowitz came together to really make sure that crypto was front foot on the agenda. And I think we will get someone at the SEC who is very familiar with crypto.
I'm about to end this after he
a
stops
couple
talking.
names still in the mix that I think are very strong candidates.
Okay.
And the nice thing is, these are people who don't go in with we're going to attack this industry. And it really did turn out to be, at a minimum, unethical and a maximum unlawful. And again, federal courts are saying that, not just Brad Garlinghouse.
Right. And Trump has talked about the stablecoin industry as well. You're about to launch a stablecoin. Is that right?
We are indeed. Ripple announced not too long ago, we're announcing something called RLUSD or Ripple USD. The stablecoin market now is 170, about $180 billion. And the largest player is called Tether. We think there's an opportunity for the Ripple of the world, an institutional use case, selling into banks, solving that cross-border, and really making payments cheaper, faster. We think this is a perfect use case of these technologies.
I can understand, because slowly but surely you're seeing financial services get it and start implementing crypto, stablecoins in their businesses. Trump, of course, has vowed to fire SEC Chairman Gary Gensler on day one. I said day one. And Gensler has recently signaled that he may soon resign after President-elect Trump's massive election win. Here's a look at some of the rumored contenders Trump is considering for the chairman of the SEC, Brad. And I want to get your take on what's the most important thing that person should do in the early days of this new role at the SEC, should one of these folks get them.
I think working with Congress and identifying here's the gaps in the existing laws that create the confusion. I think, I don't know all those candidates personally, but there's a bunch of very strong candidates up there that I think aren't going to pretend that, hey, the rules are clear. Gary Gensler would testify in front of Congress and literally say the rules are clear, but in the next sentence he wouldn't answer the question, is ETH a security? So to me, it's just this, head in the sand. It's a new dawn for crypto in the United States, and I think we really can make this the heartbeat of the crypto and blockchain industry in the next 5 or 10 years.
For so many people, they feel like the people who are writing these rules, writing the framework for crypto, actually don't understand it. I mean, do you think Gary Gensler actually understands the crypto business?
One of the most frustrating things about Gary Gensler, he actually taught classes at MIT about crypto. And if you watch the videos of him teaching these classes, and then you listen to him after he became the chair of the SEC under Elizabeth Warren's kind of guidance.
I see where you're going.
It was a night and day difference. And so
he is smart, he understands, but he's political.
Extremely, and hypocritical.
Yeah.
Look, literally the federal courts were calling the SEC under his leadership These are exact quotes: arbitrary and capricious, failing to follow a faithful allegiance to the law.
Wow.
They were even sanctioned in one case in Utah. That the SEC was sanctioned by a federal judge. This is not what we want from our government institutions, to work for the people and to actually protect investors.
All right, we will leave it there. Brad.
So that's what I wanted you to see. Some questions about $1.25. Yeah, we could. We absolutely could. Our technical target here is up to $1.37 is our next move. We could have a back test if it did come back down, but right now it's as long as it holds $1.18, we don't need to back test $1.14 technically. And in all senses, we filled that gap perfectly. Look at that. That's the gap at $1.1587 we talked about, and it basically hit it right on the nose. So if it doesn't move up right now, you could get the back test of the shorter pennant flag breakout, but as we know, it's formed into a wider pattern now with that second resistance, so it's really not necessary to come all the way back down. But yeah, we talked about at the beginning of this the Gary Gensler resignation on January 20th, but I gotta go, everybody. Have a blessed evening. There's a very real possibility I might come back on at 12 a.m. if things are shaking out. I don't have to get up early tomorrow for my son for school because he's off. So there's a very real chance I could come on later as long as things are shaking out the proper way. And if the charts are breaking out at that point, because something tells me during the Asian hours tonight, we could have a little bit of movement here. So hopefully, if I don't see you tonight, I'll see you tomorrow. But thank